Hey everybody, and welcome to another video. Sorry for making this video take so long. Thanks to David for the feedback about the question about Google Tag Manager and Global Tag or GTAG and other SEO related reasons. David is another developer that's trying to learn more about BD. So let's dive into this Google service. Okay. Before Google Tag Manager, or at least before they were actually doing different things, and we're talking years ago. Okay. GTAG is the one and still is the one that you can use for your Bin Directory site or WordPress site or other sites. Okay, on BD, remember that BD offers in the backend. Um, if you go to general settings, then you go to you go to settings, general settings, integrations. One of the first options to put the GTAG code in there. Okay, so that's one helpful thing that there for BD and in Pro of GTAG. They can the measuring there. And the way that you can test this, because remember that this is directly tied by default to Google Analytics. You go to analytics.google.com. That's where you create the GTAG, and it should take you between 30 seconds to 1 minute to be able to see traffic, like you yourself going to the site, and you should be able to see in your analytics that it's actually the GTAG is actually capturing you, okay, and it's feeding Google Analytics with it. So the question was, in which cases do I need to use Google Tag Manager, which is GTM, and in which cases I need to do Global Tag or GTM? It's a little bit, I would say, complex, the answer there. GTM can actually replace GTAG, it can include GTAG in the Google Analytics part. Okay, so this can actually cover this. You got to imagine both as the single point where you put it on the site, and it's called global tag because you cover all your site and it will send that information of those measuring data points to multiple services exclusively from Google. So it could be Google Ads, Campaign Manager, the analytics that we're talking about. There's actually a couple. There's probably 6 or 7 if I can recall. And it's easy to install. Paste the code. Typically, this is the one that I just mentioned. Settings, general settings. You go to integrations, which is the last tab, and then you put the measuring there. Or the other way of putting it is you go to settings on your backend. We're talking on your backend, manage my directory. You go to settings, and then you go to design settings, and then you go to the last option, which is something along the lines of custom CSS head. There's going to be 3 sections there. You're going to put the code that Google gave you, which includes the script and all that. Just copy it and you paste it in the head section. Save it. Once you save that, because you saved it there, you need to clear cache. There's like a blue button that instead of saying reset cache or clean cache, it says refresh live website, something like that. So like a bluish button. You click it, you wait, and then you can go ahead in like more or less 30 seconds to a minute. You can go ahead and go to Google Analytics where you actually create this for the GTAG and you check yourself in real time. You don't have to refresh the page. You don't have to do anything in Google Analytics. Just wait for the map to refresh and it will show you and whoever you're working with or your members where they're coming from immediately. Okay. And then, especially for, there's a second question about how long do I have to wait for Google Analytics to give me proper information? Depends on the traffic, but I always wait about a week, minimum a week. I need to wait more. So then you can use that information that you're capturing there for demographics, ages, geographical location, forecasting different marketing strategies. Okay, basically. The good thing about Google Analytics is that you can also merge that with Google Insight or Webmaster, what we called before, and it can help you determine which pages, for example, are not being as successful as you would expect, where the traffic is coming from, the flow of data there. That's very helpful too. Now, compared to the Google Tag Manager, the GTM, you got to imagine that GTM is a container. What do you mean a container? Well, imagine a bag. On GTAG, you can only carry one thing on that bag. with the GTM, before you were only able to have on the back other Google services. Okay, now you're literally able to have everything what you want. Facebook, Instagram, Hotjar, I don't know, any type of tag or any platform that offers a script or a tag that they want to add into your site, you can put them all here. And the way that this works is that you grab that GTM code, the main GTM code that the Google Tag Manager will give you, which is, by the way, tagmanager.google.com, the site. Um, and you grab that code and you go to settings, design settings, custom CSS head, and you paste that baby on the head, same place that I mentioned the GTAG. Paste that there, and what happens is that that GTM will manage which scripts or tags will load for that particular, for all the particular ones that you add on the GTM little bag, little container. Okay, that way you don't have to put them all into the head site. Okay, it saves you the trouble of that. Now, in which cases you want to use one or the other. Okay, well, for the GTM, obviously you got to learn a little bit more. Okay, here's a more like a copy paste solution. Okay, that's one. Two, the typical question that comes up after you've had years of experience with this too is, does Google Tag Manager create lag on my site? Yes, it does. But it doesn't depend on the Google Tag Manager. Because if you create a Google Tag Manager with only a Google Analytics or a GTAG, it's gonna be the same thing. There's not gonna be any impact in performance or like that. But if on that bag that you're creating, that container that you're creating, you put the Facebook, you put the Instagram, you put Hotjar, you put two affiliate programs, you put, I don't know, integrations with Amazon, you put a banner manager, you put a, obviously that's going to carry some load there. Okay. Not only that, but there could be a conflict of problems here, even security, because from a developer's point of view, the GTM, what it's doing is injecting that script into your site multiple times for each one. Okay. So if somebody, one of your developers, somebody that you gave access to the Google Tag Manager, they inject the wrong thing, they could break your site. And if you have a team that works in a directory and you have a team that works in the Google Tag Manager, the directory team can't do anything at all with that because that's managed over there. Okay, something to take into account there. So yeah, this doesn't lag until you actually put a bunch of scripts in it. And there has been a lot of cases where depending, here's a tip, depending on the order in which you put the tags, it could have an impact or a conflict on the site. It could have an impact on performance or a conflict on the site. What's a conflict? You assume that the tag will show a little Facebook chat or a little AI bot or something. But because in the order in which they were loaded here, or assuming that you're putting them all manually here on the head, the custom CSS head, depending on the order, they might have a conflict because of a library that they're using, because of something that they share. They just happen to share at the moment of creation on the site when they actually load on your site. So that also needs to be taken into account. GTM gives you the ability to sort them just in case, to do blind test, which is basically you test each one individually, then groups and your thing there, um, and check if the site is having any issues with the amount of the ones that you're showing or loading there, especially the order, how many you're loading, etc., etc. So it could have an impact on the user experience point of view. It could have an impact on images loading somehow slow, or the page actually loading slow, or the page actually rendering, starting to render slower. Okay, so there's certain things. And to remember that all those scripts, some scripts need to be loaded at the end of the when the page loaded. Some need to be loaded before. Okay, some need to be loaded after a certain element exists on the page. So there's a lot of things that need to be taken into account here. Okay, but the main things that you need to do or understand is that this one, okay, can manage multiple tags, okay? Multiple tags. This is the container. The container and it gets, you can put them all in there. And even multiple tags from the same different, from the same platform. Global tag, it's a single tag, okay? A single tag. Although it's called global because with this single tag, you're able to feed Google, especially Google services, only Google services. So you're able to feed Google ads, you're able to feed campaigns, you're able to feed analytics, okay, and a couple others. On here, it's basically all the Google services that can talk to Tag Manager, plus any other platforms independent of Google that you want to put them. So it's more organized, but you just gotta be more careful with it. That's the biggest difference, both of them. Okay. So I hope this video helped everybody. I'll be making more videos soon. I have a list of feedback that I've gotten, so I can create other videos that will help everybody on the business owner. Okay. So hope you like the video. Big hugs and think positive as always.